again, I repeat, right now, we learn from previous study, we can follow the same procedure, we can use the same questionnaire, right? Probably different data set. Right? Although the character of data the same, previous study you have conducted among students, you also conducted among students, but different set of the students. Right? Kalau sebelum ni mungkin student yang dah graduated, but you are research student in this year. Right? So set of different of data set. Right? It is possible, and also for your research, you are updating the literature. Right? You learn from the previous study. Right? You read your literature. Right? Probably you have your own set of literature. Right? It is possible to do it. This is replications. But if you're interested to extend, right, the theory, right, if you're interested to to justify adding the new area, new branch into the theory, right? You keep that for your postgraduate study, right? That the mission, the objective of the postgraduate study, to finding possibility the new knowledge to add into the existing theory. But at your level, we not expect you to comprehensively, right, study on the theory. Right? We expect you to understand the process, right? Experiential learning. Right? You learn from your experience, right? Understand the process in conducting research. Okay, so that's the main objective of MGT648. Right? Because I mentioned this, some people, ada student yang text me tanya, right, what theory to put and etc. I said you are undergrad. Now I don't mean we not expect you to add some comments or review the theory, but at least if you know about that, this is the good enough. Even better, if you in your frameworks, you might have theoretical frameworks. It's based on the theory, is a good enough. Okay, it is even better if you can talk about the theory underlying your research. But for that consider bonus lah kalau ada. But for us, that's okay. But the important things, you learn the process. You know what you need to do. Especially when for today we are going to discuss on the reviewing the literature. Okay. Right. So, what is the review literature? Now, in general, we can say that, as I explained just now, what is the literature? Literature is the previous study. The study have been conducted before by other people, and these people share their research, say their finding, in an academic journal. The academic journal. What is academic journal? Academic journal, when we talk about journal, is a collection of articles. Every researcher is going to write an articles, articles to report their research, to report all these 5 chapters. Semua 5 chapter utama dalam research itu, they write in the simple form, that what we call articles. So articles is published, and shared with the public, in a journal. Okay, so where can we find the journal? You need to find the journal database. Where can we find the database? Library lah. Saya kan pasar ikan kan. You pergi pasar Setutong. Ada orang jual jurnal kat sini. Orang beli buku 555. Isn't it? Right? If we talk about academic journal, we find the journal mostly the library. University library subscribe the database where you can access a journal. There are thousands and can reach thousand number of journal. However, some universities have budget to subscribe the database, okay, where you can use and look for the journal. Dalam database itu bukan semua journal yang ada. There are some good journal where they have they charge a separate cost to that. Library walaupun they subscribe database, but not all include the journal. Database example, EBSCOhost, Emerald Study, Science Direct, that the common database used by people who are research in the social science. Like us, we are in the social science. Now we want to study on the social science, what database can be used. That can be the database nama dia EBSCOhost, EBSCOHT, Emerald Library or Science Direct. Okay, there are some journal that you can access it openly. They call it open database. Open database, and even sometimes the individual researcher, or the author, they share their articles openly. They call it open source. Tidak semua. You kena berusaha sikit. Sebagai contoh yang the most famous open sources for you to access the academic journal is Google Scholar. Okay, if you go to Google Scholar, you search, it requires some skill in order to identify the relevant articles. But to be safe, better we use the library services to access into the database. Okay. So academic journals, classification evaluation of what accredited scholars, researchers have written topic, as I mentioned, that is what we call literature. The research, the previous research that has been conducted and shared with the public. So your job now, you already identified your area of interest. That's the topic that you plan to do your research. So start from now, you can start to collect as much as possible relevant article. I repeat, you can start to collect, to download, try to find the full articles. Because some articles, although people share, they not share the complete articles. Is try to find the full articles, just download the full article that relevant or related to your area. Sebagai contoh, if you interested on the motivation among students during the pandemic, if you type there, pandemic, for example, your keyword that you use to search the article, you type pandemic. So macam-macam jenis artikel, science-based, engineering-based, social science-based articles that the people publish. But here we just interested on the social science. That's why you need to be selective when we are searching the article. And when you search the article, that's okay to be specific. As bercontoh, your topic of interest is source of motivation among students during pandemic. You put bracket there, open and quote and decode, right? Or on that topic, right? You can find the specific. Kalau you letak bracket there, right? Dia akan cari how the search engine works. The search engine will looking for keyword that you type in. Dia akan cari whatever articles yang mengandungi perkataan student. Whatever article related to motivation. Right? Sebab itu kalau yang first time if you go to Google Scholar, you can try. Right? Sometimes they search number of search sampai berjuta. Right? So to be, kita tak nak study semua. Right? We have the specific topic that we interested. Right? So you put bracket there, code decode, right? Then type your topic. Right? So they can help you to scale down the search. Okay. The goal of literature review. Why we need to review the literature? Right? To demonstrate the familiarity with body of knowledge and establish credibility. Right? Meaning that we are referring to the previous study. Right? We learn what have been conducted before. Right? Bukan just when we do research, right? We not allowed actually, right? Or it's not ethical if you say that, or I think, right? In my opinion, right? I think, I believe, right? That's the word that indicate that if you tell people I think, or I believe, or in my opinions, that people might say, right? People might question back, who are you to say that? Are you a professor? If you have the full professor title, mostly people will believe whatever words come out from your mouth if you are a professor, because we know that right now orang bukan senang nak dapat title professor, okay? And we know that a professor is a person who have conducted probably dry up research. Right? Maksudnya dah terlalu banyak research, dia buat banyak ilmu dia lah, especially dalam bidang dia lah. Right? You tak boleh nak cong orang itu. Okay, right? Contoh. So whatever statement yang dia buat, mostly orang akan percaya. But for us, right, golongan marhain macam kita kan, right, whatever we say, every statement, we need to be supported. Okay, sebagai contoh, my statement is, right, I say that students, especially university students, they like ODL. Pandemic give them a lot of benefit, so they do ODL. Right? As the evidence, right? The number of students who get anugerah dekan during ODL is increases. Okay, that's my statement. Okay, people might question me back. How do you know? Who are you to say that? Okay, so if I make that kind of statement, I need to find some support article, right? That to create some credibility, to add some credibility into my statement, right? So people can trust my statement, right? So according to I said just now, right? People highly motivated during the ODL, right? Although they are evident, right? That shows that number of students who get anugerah dekan is increases, right? Previous studies, sebagai contoh, ANA year 2021, right? The research found that, right, when during the ODL, right, there are some emotional support the student obtain, right, now on the ODL. Okay, so that when the people read the statement, they can trust my statement, right? Because I add some credibility into that statement. Right? So I bukan simply put create the statement, but my statement have been supported by previous study. Okay, so itu yang dimaksudkan. So when we review the literature, now we familiar with the area that we want to research, right? And also establish some credibility to make people believe right now on our research. And by reviewing the literature, it shows the path of period research and how a current project is linked to. Now integrate, summarize what is known in the area. Alright, so for example, study on factors to motivations ataupun a perception among students on the using the sunblock, right? Sebagai contoh sebelum ini kan, right? So perception. So the question there, what kind of perceptions? Right? So what after you reviewing the literature, then you will know that specific perception is too general. Perception is a general statement, a general area that you can research on, right? So in academic research, you need to be specific. What kind of perceptions that you're interested? Okay, right? The perceptions of perception among students using the ODL. What kind of perception? Is it emotional perceptions? Is it cognitions perceptions? Right now, what kind of perceptions? Right now, if I ask you now, what perceptions that you're interested in? Right now, probably you cannot answer. Right now, because you haven't reviewed the literature. After you review the literature, after you study the previous study on the previous studies have been published, right, then you can identify, you can answer to my question. What kind of perceptions that you're interested in? Number 3, integrate, summarize what is known in the area. Okay, this is also crucial when we review the articles. Right. When you, for example, you're interested to know about the factors of sources of motivations. Right, sources, sumber-sumber motivasi among students. Okay. When you do the article search, you find out that you're able to find 100 articles. 100 studies have been conducted before. Okay, you need to read all, right? Then you are trying to accumulate, right? What are the similarities and what are the differences, right? For that 100 articles. For example, from that 100 articles, it report that you find that there are 5 source of motivations. The previous study have been conducted, the research and tested, telah diuji, kebenarannya. Then you summarize, you say that there are 5 source for the motivation, especially among students. One of that is peer, colleague, environment, family, and themselves. 5 areas. So according to blah 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 blah. So one of the factors is the individual. According to C, D, and E, right? Family is not a source of motivations. Okay, this is the process: integrate and summarize. In simple word, integration and summarizing the previous study, especially study that match to your interested area, we call that synthesizing. Synthesize. So you mean that we need you need to synthesize the previous study. Okay, I'm sure that dalam apa ni, your future tu kan, the folder I did share with you. This is one apa ni, one document that related to how to synthesize the articles. Please read that. How you are synthesizing the previous research. Okay, we are not going to be the pembaca berita. Kalau pembaca berita, news reader, dia akan baca berita per berita, every topic by topic, one by one. They will comment, you will read topic one by one. Itu pembaca berita or reporter. They will explain one by one article. Padahal, for example, there are 5 articles related, but 5 articles have the same finding. If these are 5 articles, you can group. You can synthesize. The particular area. If the 5 articles different one to another, you also can synthesize to indicate their differences. For example, the 5 article, their finding is different. Article A said that motivations is the most important factors to motivations is family support, for example. Article 2 said that the most important factors for motivations is the spouse. Kalau students, gereknya lah. That's the most important source of motivation. Article 3 said that environment, surrounding, is the most important source motivations. You can group these 5 articles in one sentence instead of you write one by one. A say what, B say what, D say what, macam tu. So kalau tak, you have 5 statements. But if you synthesizing, when you group these articles, these are 5 different articles, you can write in only one sentence. So you say that in ranking, previous study have found that 5 factors that contribute to the source as a source of motivation, which is include family, dalam bracket ANA 2001, spouse or partner, according to DNB 2003, for example. So only in one sentence you can write when you synthesizing this previous study. We synthesize the differences or the similarities. So that is what we call the gap analysis. The gap here is the previous study have inconsistent result in finding the source of motivations. Okay, so nak tak nak, you need to find the article and read the articles to find what are the similarity, what are the differences, and what the gaps of knowledge that you can spot. Okay, so that's your job when we do the literature review. So this is a reason why you need to review the literature, why we need to read the previous study to broaden your knowledge base in your research area, as explained, to understand your area. You're interested in source of motivations, so what have been taught on that particular area. Okay, what else can you show in the particular area? To bring clarity and focus to your research problem, as I mentioned just now, in chapter 1, you need to have the problem statement. Before you can write the complete problem statement, you need to understand your area, the knowledge related to your study area. Then you can put in some research problem statement there. Identify the gap in current knowledge, as I mentioned. Our job when we review the literature, we try to find whatever gaps, jurang, mungkin ada flaws ataupun something related, some things that what they call not have been searched. Ada benar area yang mungkin belum dikaji sebelum ini. So you want to, you are interested to know about that particular area. And to avoid reinventing the wheel, at the very least, it will save time and can stop you making the same mistake as other. Inventing the wheel meaning that you are repeating the same mistake. If you refer to your senior article, senior punya report, research report, and etc., mungkin ada benda-benda yang we can spot that is wrong procedure, that is a wrong finding. So when we learn, so in your research, you're not going to repeat the same mistake. So probably that research is more suitable to conduct a qualitative study. But your senior do the quantitative study. That's why dia punya finding tak cantik, for example. Ataupun you are skeptical on that particular study. Macam ada something wrong somewhere. So you need to find what are the mistakes. Probably then you will learn from that, and we not going to repeat the same mistake. Okay. And if other people working in the same related field, as mentioned just now, we want to, in order to understand that area, so we need to study what have been conducted into that particular area to identify the opposing views. For example, previous study have been conducted. Most of the study have been conducted from the Western perspective, daripada pandangan orang Barat. So the previous study lack of cultural element in the study, whereby in our society, culture play a role that contribute to the motivation, for example. Okay, so you're interested to know about that area, then we need to review the literature. Mandatory concern when we review the literature. You need to be organized and focused with the locus of research questions and research objective. That's why, as I explained, awal-awal lagi, in the chapter 1, you need to specific. You ada tentatively what your research question and research objective. So it's very helpful for you to focus, to control yourself. Just finding the particular area that interested you. For example, if you interested on the motivation is too wide. Macam-macam jenis motivasi yang orang dah buat. Okay, that's why we need to review the literature to answer the questions. What previous study have been conducted in the area of motivations. So if you focus your study, okay, so sources of motivations among students. So you just search the previous study have been conducted to that particular area. So you boleh ignore benda-benda yang lain, motivation in the workplace, motivation, source of motivations for the private school, so that's the things that you can ignore for the time being. So it's help you to limit, because for you're going to have 4 months to do your research. Now we don't have much time to conduct the research, to collect data, and etc. So we need to be more specific. So it can help guide you and save your time in conducting the particular research. Identify the area of controversy in the literature and highlight them. As I mentioned, apa yang kontroversi, apa maksudnya area of controversy? This is referred to the gap of knowledge. For example, previous study have a little emphasis on spiritual element into the motivations, but there are studies shows that the spiritual play a role in motivating people, Asian people, for example, according to MNO 2007. So in your study, you interested to test on the literature, on the spiritual as a source of motivation. So the question here, does spiritual intelligence, for example, contribute to the motivation among students? Okay, and synthesize the result and findings of the research that have been reviewed. Okay, I did explain just now apa maksudnya synthesizing. Synthesize result and findings. Approach to review the literature. How we are going to review the literature. So you can take two perspectives. Narrow perspective, you focus directly on the research questions only, or broad perspective, focus on research question as well as area pertaining to research issues and variable concerns. All right. So narrow. Now focus small searching area.